I don't know how, they seemed like they were trying to do some recruiting in the high schools.
Yeah, it's just, I think that, and I have to say this, we have some poor leadership, man, CB Jr.
Yeah.
You agree?
I agree. And I think it's getting worse. I mean, I think that, I hate to say this, but I think black people sometimes get caught up in not realizing how good they have it. Like, we were the only majority black city with all black government, and we lost that. And I don't think we're going to get that back.
We did not realize what we had in the 70s and 80s, even through probably the mid 90s. As I say, there used to be a time when you knew if you didn't know the police chief or the lieutenants or the commanders, you knew somebody who knew them. Mm-hmm. The judges at Recorder's Court. Mm-hmm. You could go down to City Hall and it wasn't that much different. Same people you saw, like you were saying, you guys hang out together. Mm-hmm. You could go to the local bar and see the same people. I mean, my great uncle Arthur used to drink at the Chesterfield Lounge when Coleman Young is mayor. Coleman be at the Miller reunion with his Crown Royal.
And it used to be like that. Like, you would go to court, you would have a case, and you couldn't resolve it. Everybody would go to lunch, talk about it. You come back. Everybody.
Have a sip and figure it out, right?
Yeah, figure it out. But now you're being policed by people who don't look like you, and a lot of them, quite frankly, are just passing through because Detroit got that free training for cops, so you can do that and you go anywhere else. And I think we should stop. I think if they start taxing people who don't live here, that's an end run around the residency requirement, and I think we'll see a lot more of us who look like us versus.
And that's true. And not to discredit, not to put the blame on white people at all.
No, we're not bashing white people.
Right. So just for your viewers and all that type of stuff, we're gonna keep it really 100 with this. But I tell you this: when I came on the job, and Benny Napoleon is my man.
God bless. R.I.P. Hell of a guy.
And, back then, they put the black officer and the white officer together.
Makes a lot more sense.
Man, you keep, and that's how it was. That's how it was because they want nobody to be overzealous about anything, right? And be fair.
Be fair. And somebody say, man, they ain't doing nothing but selling 3 joints a day. And we're gonna waste our time.
No,
he said,
No, he.
Oh, we got it.
Okay.
I appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. So yeah, that's
Dr. Detroit's finest. Gucci down, Montclair, Gucci, Cartier buffs. They better ask somebody. Blow the whistle. That's right, blow the whistle.
Yeah, but just the whole thing, they don't mix them up, and I think that's wrong for supervision. Because you don't know where people come from. Then you don't know what their ideals are. We don't have any prejudgment. Prejudging people. When and the typical white, and I can say this, I can say it with conviction because I was in the United States Navy, man, with 300 men on one ship.
Okay.
And it was 4%, maybe 6%, black.
Ooh-wee.
Hispanic, 3%. So that's 9 on the boat. And we may have Middle Eastern. They get 1%. Everybody else was white from all regions of this country. Mm-hmm. I only saw blue because of the Navy uniform was blue. They made sure that because we would took that motherfucker over, man. I'm not bullshitting. New York, Detroit, especially St. Louis, tough city, man, rough city. So give shots out.
Country boys, shout out. Oh, country boys, you don't have to mess with them country boys. Country boys violent.
Yeah. So, but we in the jail, man, with them. So I know. He said, man, we never even knew anything about black people.
They've been honest.
Yeah. I remember My first roommate at high school, she was, because I stayed on campus.
Oh,
She,
residency at Cranbrook. Oh my. Full scholarship?
so,
Already now.
but I remember her asking
Campus in high school. Like I stayed on campus in high school.
from Detroit, though.
That's
for real. But I remember.
Which city limits is 8 Mile.
Right.
Which is different than Long Lake. But I digress. I'm sorry.
It's actually Long.
Long Pine, thank you. That's even north of Long Lake. Thank you very much. They got ducks. They got swans and ducks. They got birds. It's like you see the sign that say Cranbrook, and then you gotta drive like another mile before you even get there. That's what when y'all get lost, Negroes. They got a whole mile driveway just to give you room to turn around. Have you not figured out you're not supposed to be here?
Shouts out to what?
The Cranes. The Cranes, right?
Yeah, Cranbrook Cranes. Yeah.
Cranes, that's right. All right, I'm sorry. Continue.
But she asked me how often do I wash my hair, because the only other black girl she knew only washed her hair once a month.
Oh my.
Actually, that's not too off though. Let's say you shouldn't wash your hair that many times a week.
She was not asking for hair health. No. Point is, but they don't know, and that's what I'm saying. They don't know about it.
I didn't take offense to it because she didn't know and she asked and I answered. That was cool.
They don't know, but in the policing and law enforcement world, you don't know about a culture.
You will find out. I mean, well, if you're working with them, but outside of that, they don't. They stereotype.
Mm-hmm.
Racial profile.
I mean, if you think about it, everyone does it, because there are some black people who, depending on where you live and where you go to school, who haven't been around white people. Like, one thing I loved about Howard was if I didn't want to deal with white people, I didn't have to.
Sure.
They weren't in my neighborhood around my school. They really weren't on my campus like that. And they weren't in my dorms. And yeah, they weren't the faculty. The only time I had to deal with them is if I decided to go to the mall in Virginia or Maryland.
Silver Springs, I bet.
Yes.
Yeah. But so a lot of this, I think, and these are the discussions we got to have among in our
leaders, for sure.
Leaders, especially in our community, and people who have platforms like this. I think sometimes some of the issues in our community got so deep. That's why when you look at YouTube and a lot of these platforms, it's all jumbo rhetoric, madness. You got grown folks having teenage conversations because it's deep if you really start talking about what's going on in our community.
Yeah.
But I don't think we conduct it anymore. So tell us a little bit, GQ, about Gang Squad and about Detroit Police Reserve.
Okay. Police Reserve, the last time I was on the air with you, I outside of talking to Charlie Langton about what it is I could do, because I'm still here in the city. I love the city for sure. My family's still here. So the police reserves are at a restriction. They work with the police. They have police powers. However, they can't act unless they're with
a police
officer. So, just the everyday shaking and baking is kind of limited, which I can respect that. But I figured that coming out there and I want to use this not only just to get myself back out there and lose a little weight too. I got to go to the academy and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I got to go to the academy again and stuff like that.
Wow. Okay.
And also to just get a little bit more in tune with the police aspect and how it interacts with the youth.
And this is my only problem with the police.
The only problem?
Well,
you biggest problem.
My biggest problem with the police, I went to a black law enforcement event a few years ago. And someone who was in charge of doing the MCO's curriculum said she wanted to meet with defense attorneys to teach police officers more about probable cause and basically how to avoid unconstitutional situations.
Right.
We exchanged contact information. I emailed this individual, never heard from him.
I can say that. You know, the dog that point show.
Not really trying to make change, but just want to make speeches about it.
You know, you have to return phone calls. You have to do that. I mean, in any...
This was an email. It was a phone.
I mean, you have to email. You have to... I don't believe in email. I really don't. Call me on the phone.
Don't get me started. We have a culture. No, we do have a cultural issue with follow up and protocol.
Right.
And protocol.
Yeah.
We do. I mean, that's something
We
that
do. You know, it's bad.
we in our community. Because I'll be like, well, I didn't call you to ask you, did you see yesterday's episode of Power? I don't call you for stuff like that. So, but we just got to get better at that.
We got to get
better at that. Follow up is really important.
Communication is key. So, getting back to the police reservist thing, I'm doing it really for myself too. You know, to get myself back in tune, because I don't want to just see Detroit as a pass-by name. You're just driving down, you seeing things that may not always be right. I just don't want people to see Detroit in that light. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta interact with people. You don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're going to see a man or a woman just by the circumstances of 1 or 2 seconds or 1 or 2 minutes. So just getting back into that light, of course, and I'm gonna meet some resistance for sure. And that's fine too. But that's why I want to get back into that police reserve. And I call all my friends and they say, you crazy as hell, man. Well, the gang squad guys, I call them, I say, hey man, we got to go back. For what? We got to go back because they need some help down there.
We're going to have to think a little crazy and a little out the box if we really want to impact this change.
Yeah.
You ready to make a political or announcement here? We're going to save that for later or for future plans.
We can save it for later, but I am interested in running for judge one day.
Yes, hear that, Detroit?
Hear that, Detroit? Right? Remember that name. Danny and Woodson.
Cranbrook girl
from Northwest Detroit that lived on campus.
How many?
Very. I was waiting on the Simpton bus to give me the Shrine High. At 13, we were able to stand outside in the cold.
13 in Woodward. Okay, so you're only a few miles away.
And actually, my freshman year, I was getting dropped off by my sister on her way up Woodward. Just a little bit. She dropped me off at 13 miles and work her way up to Long Pond.
Right. So, hey,
that's how I know about the ducks.
Yeah.
About the ducks.
Oh, so you know about the lakes, too.
I know about the lakes. Actually, truth be told, I went to summer school in Prince.
Okay.
Truth be told.
Why do we always do it?
Truth. Yeah. I don't know.
But let me ask you for sure, because coming out hard.
Look,
what can you tell?
Like that.
Where can you coming out party? Like you coming out party to the.
I just want to respect.
Let's clarify.
What I'm saying,
no offense to that community. I just don't want to offend that community because.
Well, she's never been on the podcast.
There are certain terms about.
What is this?
Yes.
Boss
and Big Boss Filmworks Company, Multi-Market Podcast, and being that I'm very scared of those people taking my money, we have to clarify those kind of things because those people take your money in today's world. And I'm your friend. And anything I have said in the past that could have been misconstrued as me not understanding that community's plight, I am so sorry.
So I guess we say debut.
Yeah. The debut. I mean, anything that you have to tell because you're gonna blow up after this.
Well,
and she's a good attorney. She's a good. I won't give her a 10 just yet. I'll give her an 8. She's in my top 10
for sure. Okay, what I think?
Top 10 within the top 10.
Okay.
In the Metro Detroit area. So if you get into trouble, she's good at domestic violence.
So you're a busy woman in this town.
Me,
Oh, you busy. You so busier than a bee at the honey factory.
So I killed him.
Right. He hit me, so I shot him. Welcome to Detroit. But honey, did you have to shoot him 8 times? The nigga kept moving.
Yeah, I was scared.
And we got automatic weapons.
Look her up.
I definitely want to have you back here.
Yeah.
Because we didn't get a chance to talk about the conversation we want. We got to bring her back because we're going to do a whole conversation we wanted to do on why women date cops, why they date the narcotics officer and the narcotics dealer.
That's right. On the next one, y'all.
What is it in the...
What's happening?
I think it depends on if it's a translation
well, we give a
from the officer to the narcotics dealer or from the narcotics dealer to the officer. I think there are different motivations there, but some of the reasons are the same.
Okay, well, we got the little preview. We're going to have her unpack that.
Part of the conduct, for sure. Get back with us.
And the feminine persuasion. Feminine coming up. Well, this has been awesome, guys. And obviously, we want to do a lot more of this kind of stuff.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming. Thank you for putting this together, GQ.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
So yeah, we got some stuff coming. We're gonna figure out some stuff to bring some people from GQ's Gang Squad.
Oh yeah.
And some people from Off the Block with me.
Nice.
I'll be nice to see for you.
Yeah.
What we call the CB?
Crooks and cops, cops and crooks.
The game versus the law.
The game versus the law. All right.
A lot of similarities.
A lot, and yeah, it just is a different time. But I think as we were saying off camera, a lot of the answers to what we do, we're gonna have to go back to the future. To go move forward, we're gonna have to learn some things from the past.
Pick up some gems that we dropped along
the way, and if we're going in the wrong direction, we gotta be man and woman enough to say, this isn't working.